now it's so easy to have a platform. You just sign up for an account. It takes 5 minutes on any platform, and then you're in.
Most of the tutorials, frankly speaking, I can easily understand what to do and how to do it in 2 minutes flat. So why don't we just do that? Why do we need sometimes we need 5-minute tutorials. We've got 10-minute tutorials or
short form content is definitely not meant to replace longer form stuff like videos in general.
Okay.
But in my opinion, they should exist in tandem. They complement each other.
Sure.
Yeah. But you have to admit that folder of 120 Flash and Java games, they kept us safe.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the It's Rendering podcast. And as usual, we'll be talking about how we craft thoughtful experiences, and perhaps it'll help you pick up a thing or two from there as well. I think you're going to find today's episode a little interesting. Not that the others haven't been, but maybe a little more interesting because this is a kind of content or a format of content that we consume a lot more of than anything else. So I'm joined by someone who's been a friend of mine for the longest time, perhaps. I think the oldest friend that I have, yes. Not in terms of age, but in terms of the time I've known you. So I'll let him introduce himself. His name is Rajul, and we've finally got an opportunity to work together last year. So Rajul, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Rajul, and basically what I do is I make short form content for NEM. So yeah, among other things, but that is generally what I do.
Among other things. No, Rajul is also someone who is very much a hype man for us sometimes on the team. So I'm just picking up on what you said, right? So when you say short form content, and I know we've been talking about this a lot of times, and we've spent a lot of time figuring this out as well. But how would you define, what would you consider short form content?
Okay. Technically, any content, especially these days, okay? So what we have is you have those vertical videos, and short form content is basically I'm talking in the technical terms, okay? So basically it's a vertical video, and it's usually 60 to 90 seconds long, and it has snippets of some kind of content. Now, if we are to really talk about short form videos, then basically I would call it doesn't have to be 60 or 90 seconds, but it is easily digestible information basically in a very short and appealing form, which will cater to whatever audience that is being targeted to. So that is, for me, that
so
is.
So if I'm just adding probably to just a little bit of context to what you said, I think we are defining it in the way that we work. Our primary work isn't creating short form content. We have longer pieces of content that we kind of, because you mentioned snippets. So I was just adding context because maybe not everyone knows what snippets are. So what we do kind of is longer forms of content, but how do we make that, like you said, it has to be digestible. How do we make that digestible? Because not everyone has the time to sit through, I don't know, a 20-30 minute episode or
exactly.
an hour long movie, right?
Exactly. For example, even us, be it anything, be it technical work or just any information in general, when you look it up on YouTube or whatever, you directly want to get to that part. And it's usually annoying when you have to sit through entire 20-30 minutes of intros and whatever, just to hear that piece of information which you really want. So basically, you can imagine there is a big body of content. Let's say there is a 40-50 minutes worth of video or something regarding a certain topic, and you just want to know some particular thing about it. Let's say there is a viral topic going on about something that happened in a podcast, for example. So rather than me sitting through the entire video, trying to find that perfect place or trying to find that information in that video, alternately, what I as a consumer can do is look up, somebody will have made something, a short form.
Somebody like Rajul only would have made something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, somebody like me, somewhere out there. So they will have made something which will take you directly to the meat of the conversation or whatever you were looking for. Yeah. So and I think as creators, we should also make things accessible like this for the general audience, because not everybody has the time to sit down and invest 30-40 minutes in something. If we were to provide them something quicker, then I think that is why it works now. That is why there's an industry.
But then why don't we just do that? Why don't we not have long form content at all? Because most of the time, I'm just you mentioned tutorials as well, and consuming content. Most of the tutorials, frankly speaking, I can easily understand what to do and how to do it in 2 minutes flat. Right. So why don't we just do that? Why do we need sometimes we need 5-minute tutorials. We've got 10-minute tutorials or whatever long form videos. Even a film for that matter, I can get suppose I watched a film and you asked me what's the plot. I can very easily tell you the entire plot of any movie that I've ever watched in 30 seconds, no matter how complex it is. Right? So then why do we need that entire thing? Why not just have the short form content?
No, I think short form content is definitely not meant to replace longer form stuff, okay, like videos in general.
Okay.
But like in my opinion, they should exist in tandem. Like they complement each other. So basically, let's say on YouTube or Instagram, when like everybody doom scrolls, let's be honest, and like you come across something which you think is appealing to you, be it like a piece of music or like apart from a movie or whatever, like whatever, and you want to know more about it. So if we were to break down like 30-minute show into 60 seconds, like 300 or something episodes, then that would be a
Yeah.
nightmare for like the viewer and the person who has to make it. But like for me, and from what I understand, these short form pieces are they're like bait, So imagine you are a fish, you're about to get caught and be put in a pond. So basically that small nibble which you first take before you get caught by the fisherman, that is the short form content. And then you get taken to the wider pool, like with lots of
I like
nothing.
how you spoken about doom scrolling and then getting caught as bait, and what's the end? You end up on someone's plate. You end up on someone's plate somewhere. I don't know.
No, yeah, I think
Oh,
that was a bit too dark. My analogy was very wrong. But like, yeah, I
no,
guess
no,
you
it's
guys get
fine.
the point. Huh?
Yeah, but okay. So I think it was a while back. I think a couple of months back. You know this channel, right? Mr. Who's the Boss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very popular guy. Yeah. So I think he was showing his teammates like behind the scenes kind of stuff. And they've got like people who are dedicated solely to making short form content. And
Mm-hmm.
they do like different stuff. They do break down the longer piece of content into short form content, but
Mm-hmm.
they also create content exclusively which is short form content.
Yeah.
Right. Like to your point of it has to work in tandem. It's not like one or the other. It's also not like I can only do short form. But then there are people, I'm just thinking out loud, like TikTok is now kind of trying to take a pie out of YouTube. But wait, take a slice out of YouTube's pie. What is wrong with my analogies? But
Uh-huh.
anyway, yeah. So, but they are primarily short form content, and people actually make a living out of that, right? And those are people who only do short form content. But then that's not us. So I'm just trying to figure out where the balance lies, because I'm just thinking about like how we kind of connected was also through gaming and through pop culture and all of those. Not pop culture as much as that at that time. It became we were ahead of the curve, but um, you also created your own content. I'm not
Yeah,
talking about work, like for
yeah.
yourself, right? So what made, and that was, if I'm not wrong, that used to be short form content.
Hmm.
So what made you choose that over, let's say, the longer for pieces of forms of content? Because even right now, I would jump for short form content to create,
Hmm.
because I don't know, I find it's like, okay, it's easier to do. It's not, I know, no offense to anyone out there, you
Uh-huh.
guys put a lot of work, but like, how does that work in that context?
Okay, so I'll.
I know I'm opening a can of worms, and there's a lot that we
No, no,
can
no.
talk about.
Actually, I'm glad you
But
talked about this. So I'll give you my answer in two parts. Okay. Firstly, let's talk about what you said before. So you were saying ki, it doesn't necessarily short form content doesn't necessarily have to exist in tandem with longer form, because people are definitely making a living on TikTok and other platforms just making short form content, which is not a part of anything bigger. Usually, I'm not talking about all the videos. So around 60 to 7, I have not done like, uh,
we'll
yeah,
find out the numbers. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I haven't done research, but yeah, like from
It's
what
it's
I've
it's
seen,
exper- it's experiential research. That's
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
So this is anecdotal evidence, okay,
Yeah.
from my side. So yeah, 60% of all these short form like independently made videos which you see are usually they can be categorized into product videos, like people testing out different products, or like they could be like the people talking about like top 5 places you have to visit or top 5 movies you have to watch and all that. Yes.
So like
Okay.
listicles,
Yeah.
essentially.
And you have like you have like other people who make cooking stuff, and like yeah, obviously gaming clips, those all fall into this category. And the final category, like which makes up around 30 to 20%, the remaining one is basically people who do skits. So people who like either like yeah, you were talking about TikTok. So I don't know, like it blows my mind that people can earn millions just by doing busting out some dance moves. Okay. Yeah, but there are people who do that. And you also have people who make comedy skits. You have people who that sort of stuff. So the larger percentage of whatever content we see on any social media or like any platform the 70% I was talking about. So usually, like, let's say it's a dish or a product. So obviously, like, once you go through it, maybe you're curious about one of the products or that particular product which you just saw, which the influencer was trying to sell, and then you will research about it, which will lead you to like a larger video, or like maybe you look it up on the web or whatever. Okay, so it is like a stepping stone from you looking at that short form thing, getting interested, it'll pique your interest, and then you delve into it. The same thing can be
So it's
said
it's
for,
very top of the funnel in sales terms.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, how they used to have, like, when we were small, in the newspapers, we would get those small pamphlets, na?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tucked in between. So, those were from like local businesses or like circuses when they came over to town and all that. That is like the like the earliest form of short form content. Okay, you have a piece of paper, it says exactly what it is. This and this, it gives you just enough information to go by and like maybe ask around or like, you know, go to that particular place at that particular time. But that is not
Right.
the main content. Huh? So yeah,
Yeah.
getting back to the point. So you have this very small percentage of people whose entire content, like, you know, the entire loop of you finding out about it, interacting with the
Mm.
content and like keeping it down, like you getting over with it. There's a very small, in my opinion. And
Sure.
these are the people who do these dances and like these skits and all that. So you open it, you see it once, and it's done. Like you can't take away anything from that. But the majority of it is
Take away
something,
some dance moves, man. That's it.
maybe. Like, let's be
I mean,
honest,
you
man.
might try and copy it, right? That's they kind of set the trend, right, for a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people.
man. Like, I'll be honest, full disclosure, I have tried to learn how to, like, you know, shuffle using some of those videos,
Oh,
but I never could do it. But yeah.
you and me
So,
both, man. You and me both.
yeah, man. So that was the first part of the question. Now, like, that was the first part of the answer. Now, the second part is coming to the content which I personally made and why I choose to do it that way. Like, you know this, but the people who watch this won't know. So I've been a creative like most of my life. I've done photography, I've done cinematography, I've done videography, I've done all sorts of things, like professionally, semi-professionally, and like just in my free time. So I always wanted that, you know, creative outlet. Okay,
Mm.
like to do it independently. And as the years progress, like it's getting easier and easier. Now it's so easy to have a platform. You just sign
Right.
up for an account. It takes 5 minutes on any platform, and then you're in, and you can start posting. And as long as your content is good, it's fine. But for me, what happened was I have this condition which I would like to call, not I would like to call, but it can be like defined as I'm hypercritical of myself, okay, and my work. So I rarely end up posting whatever I do or whatever I did. Like I don't have a log, which I heavily regret sometimes. And like I sat down 2 3 years ago, and I was like, so what is a very safe bet? Like, you know, something I like, which is like that, but I can also like add to it creatively. But at the same time, I won't be suffering from this condition myself, like whatever I had been doing so far. Like I also play games on my downtime. So I decided on opening a YouTube channel where I post my game ka highlights.
By the way, just say you are the one who got me into gaming as well. Just say.
Yeah, those were fun times. Those were fun times.
Yeah.
We had no internet, nothing. This is way back in 2000, 2002, I guess. Yeah, in the
Yeah. Yeah.
2000s,
Yep.
like early 2000s.
Yeah, I didn't realize. You're making me feel old now, but sure, move on.
Yeah, but like you have to admit ki that folder of 120 Flash and Java games, like they kept us safe. So yeah, that is
When you
beside the
said
point.
folder, I didn't know where you were going with it, man.
So I decided to like post gaming fest. So basically, what I do is I nowadays I don't do it as much, but like I play a lot of Fortnite. So I guess everybody knows what Fortnite is, but in case you don't know, Fortnite is a battle royale game. So it's somewhat similar to PUBG, but like you can build and like, you know, the gunplay is not the end focus of the game. So that is that. I won't bore you with the technicalities, but that is that. So I use this software called Postparty when I used to post. So what Postparty does is you have to sync it with your Epic account, and like you have to install that app on your phone. So basically, like what these other software do, like NVIDIA ka native GeForce now that overlay, na? So
Yeah.
this software and like Steel Series, Razer, whatever, all of these have in-game capture cams. Okay, and I'll
Right.
tell you why I don't use them. So I my specs are not that great. So basically, every time I get a kill or something, the app will it runs on an algorithm. It identifies when you die or like when you kill someone or something like that in game, and then it will record the clip there, okay, in the background,
Good.
which
Yeah.
leads to a momentary lapse in frame rates. So if you
Right.
are playing something single player, it doesn't matter to you because it's just a single player game. You can just pause it. But like when you're playing a multiplayer game, that is very it's irritating, basically, especially if you're in a
It
big
could also
fight.
be crucial, right? Because yeah, if you're in
Yeah,
a 1v2 or 1v3,
yeah, man.
you
Yeah,
need
you
to
need
have very fast
everything. Yeah,
response
you
times.
need
Yeah.
everything out of your machine. Post party was the perfect solution because as soon as you, let's say, like you wiped out a squad or whatever, or you did something you're proud of, or you saw something funny, okay, any point of the game,
Mm.
you just hold escape for 3 seconds and it will send a clip to your phone. So that
Oh.
was super convenient. Like it doesn't run in the background. It's actually, they have this tie in with Epic, which is the parent
Okay.
company of Fortnite. So Epic will directly, I don't know how it works, but like, yeah, they record this thing on the cloud or something, and then they send it to your phone. And this has no impact on your performance, nothing. But the only thing is, it will send it in 720p and in a very, very bad bitrate. Okay, it's very bad to look at, but like at least you have your clip. I did some clip. I'd like to say ki I'm kind of good at the game. Okay, I'm not blowing my own out, but like, yeah. So I managed to amass a lot of clips and slowly I started posting them like on YouTube. And recently I stopped because YouTube, I don't know, there's some glitch and it doesn't let me upload any shots. So I've stopped. So when
You
I
were too
did
good. You were
that,
too good for YouTube.
maybe. Okay. So when I did that, it was safe for me because presentation wise, I can't do anything about it. That is what the software gave me. I have to use it. I have creative control over like whatever edits I put on it, but I that's it. Like I don't have to be eyebrow critical about how the video is coming on the screen. Because
Right.
if I were to make it from scratch, like let's say I spend some time in like Blender or something, and I made something like similar to a third person oriented gameplay, then I would be very critical, na? Because that is my stuff. And in my opinion, once you start making your own thing, be it anything, whether it's you talking on the camera or like some piece of content, you slowly start gaining this confidence. Okay, and that really helped me in that sense. Like nowadays, I am not that bothered about posting anything even creative stuff online because that helped me do that. But yeah, in the end, like nothing big came out of it. I just got like 2-3K views maximum, okay, like on certain videos, and that's it. And now the channel is basically dead. But for me, yeah, it's kind of ironic because with you guys, I have to spend a lot of time planning and everything. Like it's very curated, okay, and like it's very polished in a sense. And I'll be very honest here, especially in our line of work, when you go online and like when you go on YouTube and you see short form content in general, 90%, not 90, I dare say 99% of whatever is there on the internet right now is is shit
Yeah.
comparatively to how we handle it. Because people don't emphasize that much. Like I'm being very honest. Because I've tried to find this frame of reference, okay, about the time and effort we put in and to find other channels who do something similar to that. So yeah, having templates and all that, yeah, that is like people do it, but like the attention to detail, like some of the guys have in NEM, that is like I can't find it, or I'm yet to find it. I may be biased, but like I've yet to find something like that online as a yardstick.
Fair enough. So, I mean, we're almost at time as well, but I just wanted to just highlight something that you said earlier, right?
Yeah.
That it helped you. You putting out content actually helped you gain confidence. You're not too bothered about putting out your own content. Like,
Uh-huh.
even with us, I mean, you were like just before this, we were talking about, like recording also makes us nervous and things like that. But you were there when we actually recorded in person.
Yeah.
At that time, we took a good 5 or 10 minutes just to figure out how, like, what do we say to start?
Yeah.
But right now we're at a point where, like, yeah, sure, I mean, it's fine, we'll figure it out as we go along.
Uh-huh.
And it's okay if we fumble, if we make mistakes, it's fine, we can always figure it out, right? So that also comes with confidence that, okay, we've got this, we can figure it out. But it comes with the fact that we've done it a few times already.
Uh-huh.
And so now no longer we don't have to overthink it. But yeah, I think that's a good takeaway also to kind of end this on. And but I will say for anyone, I don't know if you have anything else to add before we kind of wrap this part of it up.
Yeah.
But for anyone else who's interested, I know we talked about kind of like what is short form content and categories, and why short form content. Maybe we can talk about how short form content next, as in like how do you actually craft short form content, because you did talk about like attention to detail and things like that. Maybe the next part, so stay tuned for that. But the next part will kind of we can touch on that maybe. Or I don't know if you have anything else to add.
So, okay, given the off chance any of our viewers are on Fortnite or any games, my gamer tag on any game is X, fist fights X. I'll make sure somebody writes it on the screen here. So, yeah.
Go pick a fight with Rajul, essentially, not with me. I'm good. Anyway, thanks, Rajul. Thank you very much, and thanks to everyone else for just tuning in and listening and spending, I don't know, a good 20 minutes with us as well. Definitely follow Natural Media on like YouTube and subscribe to us, and obviously on Instagram and things like that. We will come back with a part 2 for sure, just talking about how to craft short form content. I know we spoke about the what of it and why of it. Now let's give you maybe some actionable tips the next one. So subscribe so that you don't miss out, and maybe we'll come out with short form content from this episode. I'm not going to let Rajul do that. So thank you.